Pound for Pound Sports Entertainment. Hit the like button, comment below, share, do all of that right now for your boy. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. It's your host, F. Merritt. We got Luis Palomino in the building. What's going on, champ?
What's going on, brother? What's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
All right. First of all, congratulations on your latest victory over Tom Showoff. You put on a hell of a show, handled it like a true champ. What's your thoughts on your performance that night?
Oh, man, I think it was great. I mean, I was closing out the year, five 155-pound title defenses, never been done. 8-0, never been done. I'm breaking records now. Every fight that I do is a broken record. You know what I mean? So I think I did great. I could have had that fight be more technical and slice them apart and pick them apart like I normally do. But I wanted to put on a show for the fight. I wanted to put on a show for the fans. I wanted to put on a show for the organization. I wanted to do a little more. I wanted to go a little further and put on a show because I'm used to doing that. But we gotta watch that. Oh man, we can't take too many risks. But I think I said, you know what? Let me close out the year with a bang, and I think we did just that.
Yes, sir. I was in the building, man. Hey, you felt the energy. I love the performance. I loved everything. Even when you came out, you got love from everybody. Sat there, took pictures with everyone. Talked with everybody, man. True champion, a true people's champion. Salute to you. Salute to Team Palomino too. I seen a lot of shirts. Team Palomino was in the building, man.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.
But more recently, you were ringside at Knucklemania 3, watching
Yes.
Austin Trout versus Diego Sanchez. What were your thoughts on Austin Trout's performance?
I saw pretty much what I thought I was gonna see. Very very traditional boxing style. It's a little different this side. I call it the dark side. When you whether you're an MMA fighter or a boxer, pro boxer, Muay Thai, kickboxer, whatever. When you step into our square circle, I call it the dark side. You're taking out the gloves, you come into the dark side. And it's just it hits a little different in this side of the game. You know what I mean? Of the fight game. But look, overall, I think it was a good performance on his behalf. I think Diego looked great himself. For doing I would say that was his first boxing fight ever. Boxing,
really?
with gloves or without gloves. Like I don't remember him ever. From both ends.
Yeah, we lost you a little bit. I don't know what happened, but yeah.
Yeah, I had a call that came in, man. Now I was just saying it was. I said it was a good performance from both ends, from both guys.
Okay. Can you give us an update on the Austin Trout fight? Because I know you wanted to make that happen.
Yeah, man. So I'm in a stage of my life where I'm looking for the biggest fight possible. And I'm not even gonna keep calling out no more names, bro, because I've called out the who's, and all I hear is crickets. Now, I'm not saying people ain't calling my name, but it's normally like some dude that don't even deserve a title shot yet, or some dude that nobody knows, and I don't care about that. I believe that, like I repeat, 8-0 with 5 title defenses, the only one, the first and only real 2-weight division champ, the pound for pound of the organization. I deserve this right here. I don't care about who it is. I care about the biggest check possible attached to that name. And this time, I went over there and I'm looking at Austin Trout like a big money bag. That's what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? And if Diego had won that fight, it'd have been the same thing, a big money bag for me to pick up. The only thing is that Diego's like a brother to me. You know what I mean? I love Diego. I have mad love for Diego. I trained with Diego in the past, and it's not a fight that I would be looking forward to do ever. But money talks. I'm the champion, and if the fight's offered, I gotta defend my title. You know what I mean? But Having said that, Aston took the win, and I believe that we can make a big win. We can make a big fight out of it. Now, as to information about the fight itself, I can't give you too much. I could tell you that I was just on the phone yesterday, and there's some good news coming regarding that. That's as far as I can go, because I'm not allowed to disclose any information until they do first.
Yes, sir.
But it's definitely on the works.
Okay. What's something that you love and hate about fighting bare knuckle?
That I love and hate about bare knuckle, I would say that I love is the raw the raw feeling of it, the bare knuckle itself, digging through, cutting through that skin, getting that impact, that facial expression when you connect. They all come tough, and then you see the facial expressions changing as the fight moves on. you
Mm-hmm.
know, the feeling of connecting, flesh to flesh, the sound of it, the splash of the blood. But at the same time, I hate it for the simple fact that you want to hit harder, you want to hit more often, but you got to be very selective in some point in time during the fight because you only get two weapons.
Mm-hmm.
You only have two weapons, and one can fail or two can fail, and now you gotta like, what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta bring the rest of that experience out and work around it. So I love and hate the game, but hey, I'm number one for a reason. We're here to do
Yep.
it.
Yes, sir. You about what, 42 now?
42 going on 43, brother.
Okay, okay. Like, man, how long do you see yourself continuing to do this at such a high level, man?
Uh, you know, funny question. I don't want to put any more time range on myself because I've done it before. I
Mm-hmm.
said I'm gonna do it for this, this many years, or I'm gonna do it for this many fights, and I'm out. And before I would put a number on it, I don't want to do that no more because your words are powerful, man. You know what I mean? Your words are powerful. Your words, what you say pretty much becomes. I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm a very spiritual, connected person. I'm very in tune with myself, you know, both in this physical realm and the spiritual world, and your words are powerful, man. So I'm gonna roll with it, as long as my body allows me to roll with it. Because physically speaking, I'm not slowing down, man. If my coach tells me all the time, right? A fighter's first loss in fighting is your sense of reaction, your speed. Those are the first things that you lose. Your ability to recover and heal, as well as your ability to come and get into shape. Like I work harder today than I did when I was in my 20s to get in shape.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I get out of shape a lot faster than when I was in my 20s or in my 30s even. You feel me? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, yeah, I haven't lost speed. I haven't lost my reaction. Hence the face in every fight. The reason why you saw me bleeding so much in that last fight, there's a round in the fight where we collapsed heads. That was a headbutt that opened this scar right here in my forehead. Other
Mm-hmm.
than that cut right there, I had a little small cut here and a little small cut here that didn't even need any stitches. I don't get hit much. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I've been the one doing most of the damage and most of my entire fighting career. You know what I mean? So the last thing that a fighter loses is his power. If anything, the fighter as you get older gains more power. And I think that's because of the experience, setting your weight on the punches. You know what I mean? Not just swinging with wildness, but swinging with accuracy. You gain more power. You know, so not losing speed, not losing reaction, man. I can do this. I can do this for a few more years. What matters to me, like I said, and I'll keep repeating, is this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going where this is at right now. You know what I mean? This what makes me move right now because I've earned that right. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I've earned that right. I've broken the records. I have the record that nobody has. I'm the pound for pound for a reason, and I need to get paid like it. You know what I mean? When you have people coming into my world, they're coming out because they have a certain amount of following. They have millions of followers here, millions of followers there. UFC fighter this, UFC fighter that, pro boxing champion this, pro boxing champion that, and they're getting the big checks. You feel me? You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm here grinding, putting in the work, and they don't even want to see me. They don't want to see me. I'm not even going to mention the names anymore. There's some big names that come into the organization in my weight class, above my weight class. I've called them out in crickets.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to see me because they want to come over here to my neck of the woods. They want to collect a check without being in danger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they had a certain name, a certain following. They did a certain thing in their lifetime of fighting, but now they want to just collect the check with the least risk possible. And I'm a risky ass fight.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I mean? So that's what I'm up for right now, man. I'm just trying to get paid, man. I'm trying to get what I deserve.
Yeah, I'm with you, and you definitely deserve it, man. You definitely do.
Yes, sir.
When you first signed to BKFC, Did you see it? Did you feel the vision and see what it's become today?
Oh, 100, 100,000%. And I explain to you why, right? And this is the biggest point that I always bring out when people ask me about BKFC and why. Why do you think it'll grow? Why do you think it'll be as big as UFC or bigger? Like, I'm like, it's gonna be bigger. And I explain to you, it's a very simple concept, right? UFC or MMA overall, ONE FC, Bellator, UFC, the biggest shows out there, right?
Mm,
We're talking about 5 minute rounds, 3 5 minute rounds, and if it's a title fight, it's 25 minutes.
mm-hmm.
I'm an MMA fighter. I have 4 titles in MMA. I have a following in MMA. I follow him. You know what I mean? And when I go watch a fight in MMA, and it just so happens that there's 3 fights back to back with decisions, I'm like this. I'm falling asleep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm falling asleep. You know what I mean? And because in me understanding the game, understanding the grappling sequences, the wrestling, I'm still falling asleep, right? And then boxing, you're talking about 10, 12 rounds, 3 minute rounds each. And by the time you get to the main event, you're asleep. And you're only waiting for the main event, co-main event in boxing, in the boxing world, right?
Yes, sir.
So when it comes to bare knuckle, the reason why it's growing the way it's growing, and the reason why it will continue to grow, and the reason is the weather, man. It's the weather. Sorry about that. Lost you there.
Oh, no
The
problem.
weather threw us. All right. So the reason why bare knuckle boxing, BKC its own, will continue to grow, and I believe it will be the biggest combat sports in the industry, is for the simple fact that this is an anaerobic sport. We're talking about 5 2-minute rounds. We're not talking about 5-minute rounds. We're not talking about 12 3-minute rounds. We're talking about 5 2-minute rounds. What happens? What's the difference? The difference is it's an anaerobic sport. It's an explosive event. There's a reason why we have 10 fights, 10 knockouts. How many times have you done that? You know what I'm saying? And then for the masses, right? For the masses, it could be somebody watching in their 60s, 70s and never seen the sport before, right? But if they just so happen to like combat sports, or even if they don't like it, because it's our primal instinct to see this, right? It's our primal instinct as human beings to see competition between one another, right? It's easy to understand for the masses. It's easy to understand for the simple fact that it's quick and it's punching, cuts, knockouts. That's it. There's no grappling. There's no wrestling. There's no figuring out who's kicking better than the other. There's no, what point or who is prolonging the fight and hugging in the boxing fight with gloves or waiting so many rounds. It's action. It's pure action from beginning to end. From beginning to end. And it's funny, right? Because my sisters, my mom, they're big fans of combat sports, right? And I remember one day in the beginning when I first started fighting BKFC, right? I think I did my first show, and then there was a show coming, right? And then my sister was like, "Are you gonna watch the next fights?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm gonna go when it gets more towards the end." What are you talking about? All the fights are exciting from the beginning. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. And I didn't think about it like that, right? And then I started paying attention. It's like, why is it? Because even the undercard fights, right? You'll have some guys that are not as experienced. So what happens? They brawling. They brawling. They're fighting for that check. They're fighting for that recognition. They're fighting for that chance to be seen and recognized. And it's no gloves and it's only 2-minute rounds. For 5 rounds. So they go ham and use hence the knockouts, man.
Yes, sir.
Back. So that's the reason why we're gonna just keep blowing up, man. You know?
It's a lot of bare knuckle leagues nowadays. But in your opinion, what separates BKFC from every other bare knuckle promotion?
The legitimate professionalism of bare knuckle boxing, of BK. The professionalism, like you see, I'm just not gonna mention specific names to not put nobody out there, nobody under the bus, But you have, people with their own ideas of how it should be and how the ring should be and the amount of rounds that it should be and the time range and then you have other organizations that are just going like over the like, bro, I've seen people getting knocked out in interviews, bro. Like, where's the professionalism? Like, what's the point of knocking out an opponent in an interview and then what happens to the show? So I guess there's no fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the lack of respect. You know, so there's so many coming out because they see BKFC is doing good, of course. You know, and there's more that's gonna come out, just like boxing, and it's a great thing. It's a great thing, you know. I think to make it grow faster, we need this competition. We need more shows to do it, and we will still stand supreme above everybody else, like
Mm-hmm.
UFC still does today. Even though there are shows that are getting close, like ONE FC, Bellator, PFL, they're getting close, they're there. But there's a reason why UFC went and bought out Pride FC, that was right there. You know what I mean? They bought out WEC that was growing in there. They bought out Strike Force. They
Mm-hmm.
bought out competition. Bellator said, we're not selling, you know? And Bellator went the other step, right? And I was in Japan for my honeymoon with my wife after my second to last fight. And I got to see the first cross promotion in MMA history, which was Bellator versus ONE FC. And
Mm-hmm.
amazing show, you know? And those are the things that took boxing from where it was at to where it's today, where people have even called it a dead sport already, yet glove boxers are making millions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? 30 million purse, you know, 20 million purses. You know what I mean? Like still being paid more than UFC MMA fighters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So this is good for growth, you know, but there's always going to be one king. Just as there's that one pound for pound fighter, yours truly, you're always going to have that pound for pound organization. BKFC, man, we're going to keep it pushing.
Yes, sir. Being a double champ, both the lightweight and welterweight belts, which weight do you feel you're absolute best at?
55, 100%. You know, look, man, I'm not a very greedy person, brother, you know, and I'm very realistic, you know. Me stepping over to 165, I know that I'm pushing limits, you know, yet I know that I can beat a lot of. I believe that I can defend this title and I can hold my own. And I've even gone as far as I challenged Thiago Alves for 175. Because what I've been trying to do, I've been trying to look out for myself and for the organization in a sense where I'm looking for bigger fights to get bigger paid. And it's a good look for the organization to make bigger fights happen.
Yeah.
So I've been asking for them to bring me people, you know, but the guys in my weight class don't want to see me, man. They don't want to see me. You know, these are like famous people, but they don't want to see me. They don't want to face me. I throw a title shot at them, they don't want it. Like look at Trout, right? Trout, you know, I respect him right off the bat because he did his debut, right? And I'm offering him a title shot, which I've done for MMA fighters that won't take it.
That's messed up, man.
Beat the champ, because who says no to a title shot? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Only a person that doesn't believe in his own self, in his own skill to win that title shot says no to a title shot. You know what I mean? And I have quite a few of those. So that's where we at.
How long do you see yourself defending both belts?
Like I said, you know, it comes down to the payment, brother. It comes down to, you know, keeping me happy with my check. You know what I mean? If it's worth my while, I'm defending. Now, I'll give you an age I won't pass. I'll give you that. You know, because I'm, like I told you, I'm very realistic with myself. If I'm still fighting until I reach 45, being 42 right now, at 45 I will be done. I will complete that year if I make it to 45 fighting. And I could be beating everybody. I could be undefeated. That's a number I won't pass. I won't pass 45 for the simple fact that, you know, I'm working on kids right now. You know, I'm happily married. I want to be, you know, in the life. I'm switching my life into business. You know, there's other ventures that I'm getting into that are gonna, you know, require my time. You know, and I need to be healthy for it. You know what I mean? I need to be healthy to raise my kids. You know what I mean? I have a 20-year-old right now serving in Israel. You know, I have a son right now, and that's my only son. You know, I want to start all over again. You know, I have a beautiful, amazing wife, which I would say is about 80 to 90% of the reason why I'm undefeated today is the peace of mind that she gives me and the support in everything that she gives me. You know, thanks to her, I can focus 1,000% in you know in the task at hand without any worries. You know, She's like my
Hmm.
rock. She helps me with everything. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
I want to be able to devote, more time to our family, raising the next generation, and into the projects that we have our minds, set up to do.
Yes, sir. What advice do you have for any fighter looking to come over to bare knuckle from either boxing or MMA?
The advice, let's see, if there's any advice that I can give you, man, is there's I'm gonna give you a good one. I'm gonna give you a very good one, okay? Because it took me years to figure this out. All right, it took me many years to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get your mind right. And you need to figure out. How you have motivational speakers telling you need to find out what your why is, right? So let's be a little more specific about that. If you're stepping into the bare knuckle world, you got to figure out what your why is in this move, in the specific move, not saying in your entire life, in the reason why you're stepping into the bare knuckle world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You need to find out what is your why. Why are you stepping in?
The advice is very simple, man. You need to figure out why you want to step this world. You know what I mean? Why? It's like if we're going into boxing or MMA, just for the simple fact that you're making a decision to come into something new. Figure out what's your why.
Mm-hmm.
My reason was I can be, I want to be, and I will be the champion of this organization. That was my reason. And because of that, I knew that that's what I wanted. I knew that I could do it, and I said, you know what? Now I got to do everything possible to align myself to this conclusion. Hence, starting the proper relationship, because I know that relationships were a big downfall for me. For me and my personal experience, having the wrong partners was a huge downfall for me. Huge, big time distraction, problems back and forth. The lack of discipline. Because of the way that you're living. And when I got that in order, everything else just fell into place. I got a partner that supported me 100% in everything that I chose to do. I had something in mind, and that person aligned with what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here today as the undefeated double champion, pound for pound fighter of the world.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Um, we know you love to fight in the ring. What are some things outside of the ring that you're just as passionate about?
I like helping, brother, and I've gotten in trouble quite a few times for this, right? And the closest people to me, like my mom, my mentor, Raf Navarro, the closest friends that I have, Rob, Mike, they know who they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And family, right? My father, they tell me, you want to help everybody. You can't save the world. You need to help yourself, and you need to take care of self first, take care of home, take care of self before you can extend out and help others. Because I've been, into not cursing your thing, I've been effed quite
Mm-hmm.
a few times for helping the wrong people. For helping the wrong people, man. And I come from a very humble place, like a real, genuine want of wanting to help the person. And I've been fucked, brother. Like bad. Like I put in some bad situations,
Mm-hmm.
just for extending my hand out. That's what's one. It's my nature. So it's not gonna stop me. You know what I mean? I'm just being a little more selective about it. But other than that, man, I just love spending time with my wife, my dogs. I love my dogs. I don't know if you know, I have American bullies. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I have a whole family. They have their own bully page. I don't consider myself a breeder because I don't breed like that, but I
Mm-hmm.
do breed occasionally, and I don't normally sell to breeders. If I
Okay.
sell, I sell to like happy homes where my dogs can be like loved, taken care of, and they're very pricey. They're very pricey dogs. That's for sure. You know what I mean? But I love my dogs, man. I love my dogs, and helping the gym. I come from a gym that's called a Young Talent Foundation. It's literally a foundation where we help, youngsters like I was when I was younger, with no direction, and we help structure them, and just help them, discipline them, and try to get them into fights, professionally, amateurs, And if that's not the route that they continue to go, at least they come out of the gym with a different sense of discipline and self-respect, where they can just, take on something else in their life. So
Yes, sir.
helping, giving back.
Okay. We got a super big mega card, BKFC 41 in Denver. Who you got winning between Mike Perry and Luke Rockhold?
I'll give it to Mike Perry. I give it to Mike Perry for the simple fact that Luke has been getting clipped and dropped, quite a few times. I don't think that as you age, that's something that goes away. You know what I mean? I think that when you start getting clipped, that this starts to get a little softer. You know what I mean? Perry still to hold up hard. He hits hard. I think he's just more of a dog. You know what I mean? Than Luke is. Doesn't Luke come from a karate background?
I believe
Right?
so.
Yeah, I believe he comes from a karate background, and he's great MMA fighter. Man, he was great. Don't get me wrong. I always love watching him fight, and have a mutual respect for both of them, Perry and Luke. But I just give that edge, that dog fight. I give that edge to Perry, which is another fight that I was asking, by the way.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. I've asked for that fight a couple times. I'm not gonna tell you that Perry is the last person that will turn down the fight. I'm not saying that he's ever said no, but I haven't heard any response. I did call it out a couple times, and it's a fight that I told Dave Feldman that I would be interested in as a super fight, because he fought in UFC at 170. The champion at 155. That's my natural weight. 165 is something I'm pushing. 170 is something I will be over pushing, but I do it for a good check. You know what I mean? And 175 is just too much. I don't believe that I can go to 175 and beat everybody there. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't even step into that vicinity. You know what I mean? Because I'm very realistic with myself. 170, a super fight with Mike Perry, great. I would do it. Or if he was dropped to 165 and want to be a champion at 165, because he can drop to 165. He can definitely drop to 165. He already did 170 many, many times. I would fight him for the title. 170, I would fight him, and that's the highest I would go. My walk around weight, 170. And it's not him. Maybe he hasn't heard it yet, because it wasn't I said it in the ring. I said it in the interviews, so maybe he hasn't seen it. We're cool. There's no animosity. We're cool people. I saw him over there at that event in Albuquerque. We're cool people. And he didn't mention anything. I just have an issue with his management. You know what I mean? His management has stuck some barriers in my way for quite a few years. I'm not even gonna name the dude because I don't even like him. But he's definitely a person that wouldn't want me to fight Perry, for the simple fact that if that win was to go my way, it would drop his market value.
Another fight on the same card. Chad Mendez against Eddie Alvarez. Who you got next?
I give an edge to Eddie, and I give an edge to Eddie for the simple fact that I believe that he's the best boxer in Chad, even though Chad does have power. Chad Mendez, I've called out publicly 3 times, by the way. 3 times. Publicly after fights. That's one of the I was talking about. I guess that fight is never happening. I do give the edge to Eddie Alvarez because I think that he has better boxing skills. And also the fact that they're fighting at 165. That means Eddie's coming gunning, swolled up. But this being an anaerobic sport, if the pace goes high, especially in, that's Colorado, right? High altitude. That he's gonna have that advantage because he naturally walks around 165, 170, maybe 180s. He's in shape, 80 hours. But Chad used to fight 145, man. He's built like a bodybuilder. You know what I mean? And now he did a 55, But going to 65 and carrying that much weight, swinging as hard as he swings, I'm seeing him, if he doesn't end the fight fast in altitude, carrying that much weight, that much muscle, that much explosive power, yes, he's gonna get out, and I think Eddie's gonna pick him apart when it comes to that. That's the way that I see it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But all the power and put him away, you know. But then you base the whole fight, winning fight on the sole purpose of landing a power punch. What if that doesn't happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man, I didn't know he was coming up like that. That was crazy. But BKFC 38, that is great. But BKFC 38, they had to reschedule it. Your Dat Nguyen versus I think was it Daniel Strauss?
Danny Strauss, yeah.
Daniel Strauss. You already know that Dat Nguyen still wants to rematch with you. Is there any chance that fight is gonna happen in the future?
Never. Absolutely not. I'll give you 3 reasons. Number 1, I'll give you the first reason. People keep forgetting about, and they only talk about, oh, it was close. Man, look, the fight goes really fast. My wife did a highlight for me. You can check it out on my IG, right? And you could even hear the announcer, a jab from Nguyen or a right hand from Nguyen, and it never lands. It's literally doing this. It never lands. It looks like it, even to the announcer, even to the people there, because it's such a high pace, so speed, it looks like it doesn't land. Hence my face. And I did a photo shoot of the fight in all angles, the actual post there. Look at his face. To come into the fight was close. If the fight was close, why don't I have a scratch, a bump, a mouse, a red slash sticking in my face? Nothing, absolutely nothing in my face. There's a moment that he keeps playing in his pages. If he rocked me, bro, look at it in slow motion. And the overhand that he throws, that he thinks that he lands on my shoulder, man. It's right there in slow motion. My wife had to put it super slow motion to show details. It's right there on the page. Go to that. You know what I mean? So the first reason is while everybody's talking about, not everybody, it's people, right, talking about close, they completely ignore the fact that I nearly died 3 months prior. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about inflammation of the pancreas, severe pneumonia, headaches, and 102, 104 fevers for 19 days. I lost 28 pounds from this body. I had no muscle. I couldn't train. You know what I'm saying? And he couldn't touch me. The only reason I took the fight is because I don't believe that I could have beat somebody in my weight class. Feeling the way I was feeling. I was weak. I tried lifting weights like I always do. I crashed again. 4 days back in bed, having cold sweats. I was bad. I was really bad. I know that some people, they run right through it like a cold. For some reason, I hadn't caught a single cough in 5 years. Years without a single cold. So if you think about it, 5 years without getting nothing, to going, to the hospital and being, infected for 10 days, losing 28 pounds and everything I went through. You know what I mean? So that was the first reason, right? Putting me on my worst day, number 1. Number 2, in the hell did he fight at 155? Better yet, how the hell do you give a guy like that ran away from the number 1 contender in his own weight class, never defended his title? I'm sorry, man. The fans, a champion is when a champion grabs a. For fighters, for true fans, a champion is he who defends his title at least one time successfully. This dude didn't want that, and didn't face Reggie Barnett. So if you're 135 pounds, you just count a belt, and you don't want to defend your belt, but you want to has to think about behind. Why? I'll give you why. Because if he goes as a contender and loses, he was never a champion. If he goes up to as to fight somebody else and he loses, what did he lose? He didn't lose anything because the guy was too heavy for him. So win-win situation for him. It's a lose-lose for me. I beat him. That's a short beat him every single round. Oh, it was close. Oh, you couldn't knock out a 135er. Oh, a bunch of excuses. I don't win anything. Now, how the hell do you come to 155? You don't even fight one person, and you get a title shot?
Mm-hmm.
No, and then you don't win. You didn't win. You see what I'm saying? You didn't put a scratch in my face. Nothing. All you do is talk. You know, all you do is live out of me. And then you know what you do? Third reason. You know what he does?
What?
He disappears for an entire year. About this, real fighter, a real champion. If it would have been me in that case, right?
Mm-hmm.
Change the, twist the tables around, right? And I lose, like him and Brito, both sore losers. Right? If I was been Brito or Nguyen, and I lose the fight, the very first thing I'm doing is, Dave, do I fight to give me a match?
Mm-hmm.
Dave, I want my rematch. I can't get it? Okay, who do I fight? No, you have to fight at least two guys. Okay, who do I fight? Give me one fight. And I'm fighting back to get their match. Dude disappeared for a year. And now you still come back. He's doing it, holding belts. Like, bro, you're not champion. You're stripped from the belt. You guys from the belt. Publicly, you're not a champion. You're walking around with a belt. How delusional are you? I have the idiot Brito, right? But I lost complete respect for him because I had respect for him. Mm. You see the fight with Brito, I hug him, I give him a show of love. I say he did a better fight than last time. I was fast. I mean, this that we had, I still have it to 0 round. On the first, just for the simple fact that I was playing him out, he was a little weirder. Third, fourth, fifth, Brito's looking at the clock. Look at the fight. He's looking at the clock. Third, fourth, fifth, now, and I'm picking up the pace, running over him. Mm-hmm. This guy, when we were at the press conference, he's trying to hide behind the fact that there was a problem with Bkfc and the police examine belt people. Okay? And I told him, you know, you won both those belts. Because I'm the belt collector. That really hurt him. I'm a belt collector. I have belts in my house. You know what I mean? So I told him, you have your word, right? You won both belts. You lose both belts. Don't give me that, oh, there's not going to be sanction for them. Don't give me none of that. I have your word, right? And he said, yes. When the fight happens, he kept the Police Gazette diamond belt. And after he loses, he's still going around doing interviews and taking pictures with the Police Gazette. Like, bro, like, are you hearing this, bro? Like, how in your right mind, where's the respect for yourself? If I had lost that night against Nguyen, right? Mm-hmm. The fight wasn't sanctioned for the Police Gazette because Nguyen hadn't gotten a belt from Police Gazette, something like that. So if I had lost, right, I wasn't losing both belts. It was the BKC belt. Do you think that if I lose a fight, I'm gonna give one? No, I have to respect myself, brother. As a human fighter, as a real champion. If I earn both belts in one fight and I go and defend the belt and I lose both belts.
Yeah.
So complete no respect for this. Don't even mention those things to me. Deal. Nothing to do. Zero. I beat him. It's not a money fighting fighter. It's not money. Boring. Nguyen never deserved right to begin with. Didn't put a scratch on me. Took it for a year. Comes back and he wants hype from the pound for pound fighter because we have history, which he lost. Mm-hmm. There's nothing. I mean, don't get me wrong. Nunez is fight for me. That in my natural state, If they offer me some ridiculous money, and that's what you want me to earn, done deal.
Mm-hmm.
The money to me don't even matter. I'm good. I wouldn't give him a shot.
Okay. All right. Mr. Luis Palomino, we appreciate you for your time, champ.